So, you just been diagnosed with ADHD. Now what? It's a very great question to ask, right? It's a question that stumps me for 20 years. And in today's video, we're going to go over the 5 things that you need to do instantly after getting diagnosed. So, if you're watching this video and you have ADHD, or somebody that you love and care about has ADHD and you want to help them or you want to help yourself, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the bell, and select all notifications so you get notified when I upload. But let's jump right into the video. So, number 1, that is, be kind to yourself. Generally after diagnosis, especially later in life, there's this sense of grief that comes over, right? You kind of look down upon your life before the diagnosis. Now, lucky for me, I was diagnosed at 6. So my life up to 6 years old, I don't remember much of it, right? So I've never went through that grieving stage in terms of the way some people do that and get diagnosed later in life. But what you want to do, because a lot of times after diagnosis, you kind of look down upon the previous years before diagnosis. And there's this feeling of grief that comes over. And you start criticizing, why wasn't I diagnosed sooner? Like, I can't believe, why didn't people know it? Like, and you're just mad at the world. Don't be mad at the world. Be glad, be blessed, right? Be blessed. Like I say, like what my dad has been preaching to me for the last 20 years since my diagnosis. I'm currently 26 now, about to turn 27. But for the last 20 years, ADHD and autism is a gift from God. It's God's gift to you. You are the chosen one. And I full-heartedly believe that. There is a reason why we have it, right? People with ADHD and people with autism see the world in a higher sense than the neurodivergent people, right? They see the world through a different lens. They see things through a different perspective that no one else can catch, right? They have their certain traits, certain aspects that are better than the average person. So always be kind to yourself. Which leads us into number 2. Dulf. All right, number 2. Dulf. Do your research. And what do I mean by do your research? What I mean is research. Like, go watch, read books, right? Actually, believe it or not, this is funny that we're talking about this right now because I'm currently reading a book. I'm currently reading a book right now about ADHD. This is the book that I'm reading. It's called ADHD is Awesome. You can find it in any bookstore. My mom actually got this for me. I believe she found it at Barnes & Noble's. But you can find this book. It's written by someone who has ADHD. It's by Penn Holderness and his wife, Kim. They co-wrote the book together. And the book is tailored to somebody that has ADHD. See, there's graphics in here. Everything's color-coded, to help our scatterbrains. I mean, look, there's little illustrations right here, little comics. You see? Little comics throughout the book. It's tailored. This book is written for somebody with ADHD. That's why there's those graphics in there, right? And so far, it's been a great book. I loved it, right? I've only gotten into the first chapter, about halfway through the first chapter. I'm going to try to read it front to back. We'll see how well that works out, because that usually never happens for me when reading a book. I'll start a book. The dopamine's there. I'll be into it, and then poof. And then the book sits on my shelf for a couple years. But there's also podcasts, right? If you guys want to know some other good people in this field, look up Dr. Amen, probably the best researcher in this topic. I just watched 2 podcasts with him yesterday and learned probably more in those 2 podcasts than I have from any other book or any other doctor I've talked to about this. So definitely look him up. He knows a lot about ADHD. From dieting, which we'll cover dieting and what foods you should be eating, what foods you should not be eating. That's for a later video. But, you know, there's a plethora of podcasts on YouTube, right? One of the YouTube channels that comes to mind is Aspie World, right? His videos are more tailored towards autism. But I've watched his stuff too because, like I said in my last video, I am on the autistic spectrum. I have Asperger's syndrome. So hopefully those are some, I guess, leeways to go and help you. This leads us into stress. Number 3. All right, guys. Number 3. Breathe. All right. I mean what I said there. Just breathe, okay? Just breathe, okay? Change your mental biology, right? Change your brain activity. Because usually right after you get diagnosed, there is a sense of stress, right? Like I said earlier, there's grief, there's also stress, right? Your heart rate goes up, you start to think back on your life. Just breathe, right? Just breathe and let the past go. Like anything, just let it go, especially if you were diagnosed later in life, like in your 20s, 30s, or 40s. Just let it go. It's okay. It's okay, right? There's a reason you got diagnosed at the age that you got diagnosed at. There's a reason for it, okay? Be kind to yourself. Love yourself, right? I know that is hard. That is one of the hardest things I had to do in life. And I've overcame some pretty hard shit. I've done some pretty tough shit in my life. But the hardest thing I had to do was love myself. Learn to love yourself. And it will be one of the greatest things you've ever done in life. Which leads us into 4. Number 4. Cuatro. For those Spanish-speaking people. Number 4 is talk to your family. Just go talk to your family. Talk to your mom. Talk to your dad. Talk to your siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, coworkers, right? People that are close to you, people that you trust, people in your inner circle. Talk to them. Let them know about your diagnosis so that way they can better help you, right? Talk to your parents. Try to find out family history because ADHD is hereditary. It's passed through the genes. You know, my dad has it, and we're suspecting that my grandfather has it. My grandfather also may have autism because my dad has always told me since I was a kid I look just like my grandfather. And not only do I look like him, I act like him. I conduct myself just like he did when he was my age. It is hereditary. So talk to your family about it. Try to get some insight because that can also help bring peace of mind too. Because also if you talk to your family about it, they can help keep you accountable, right? They can help come up with things. Maybe they can think of things that your brain can't think of because it's already going a million miles an hour thinking about a million different things, right? Also, did you guys notice that I changed my hat? Also, can anyone tell me how many times did I change my hat in this video? Leave your answers in the comments. But talking to yourself, or not talking to yourself, talk to your family, right? Talking to your family can help alleviate a lot of stress and lift that weight off of you and help you make you feel better. Because it did me. My mom talking to my parents about it and my parents telling me a little bit of family history really fucking helped me. And my parents are kind of like my accountability coach, right? They kind of keep me accountable. Mainly my dad is my accountability coach, right? He's the one that's always reminding me about my chores, asking if I did them. So like when they tell me to go do stuff, they'll wait about 5 minutes and then they'll have me repeat it back. And if I can repeat it back in 5 minutes, they know that I paid attention. They know that there's a 99.9% chance that I'm going to do what they set up. what they told me to do. So if you are like me, you still live with your parents because of your ADHD and your autism, have your parents be your accountability coach. Which leads us into number 5. Cinco. Not last, but definitely not least. 5. Cinco. Number 5. Whatever you say, you're right. Now, you might be like saying, Cody, what do you mean by that? I mean what I mean. You know, rather you say you can or you can't, you're right. That is a quote by Henry Ford. It is a quote that my dad has told me several times. And what that quote means is whether you tell yourself you can or you can't, you're right. There's a thing called a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? That it's really talked a lot about with the Stoics and in Stoicism, which we will talk about later in a further video. We'll talk about Stoicism and how Stoicism can actually help ADHD and how it's helped my ADHD, because it has in a lot of ways. But that's for a later video. The self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So let's do this for an example. So a self-fulfilling prophecy would be like you're riding a bike, right? And you're riding your bicycle and you're on the sidewalk and you tell yourself, don't wreck, don't wreck, don't wreck, don't wreck. And what happens? You end up wrecking, right? That's a negative self-fulfilling prophecy. The self-fulfilling prophecies can be negative or they can be positive. It goes both ways. So what you want to do instead after being diagnosed, because a lot of times, I know I did this, right? I remember doing this as a kid, was telling myself that I was a piece of shit, 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 I'm a lame excuse of a human being. I kept telling myself that over and over and over and over and by the time, you know, I become a full-grown adult, that's literally what I start to believe in. I start to tell myself, right? I didn't do anything with my life after high school, right? The only real thing I did was get a job, and I maintained that job, and I still have that job, but I haven't done anything. I don't have a lot of money, right? I haven't done anything exciting with my life. You know, so instead of telling yourself all these negative things, flip it on its head. Start telling yourself positive things, right? Like I'm a good person. I'm an amazing person, right? And just on repeat over and over and over again. And just like the negative, you'll start to believe the positives, and as a result, you'll start feeling that positive. And when you feel that positive energy, you'll start to do positive things. And over time, as you do more and more positive things, your confidence will go up, your self-esteem will go up, and you start accomplishing things, which raises dopamine levels, which is something people with ADHD struggle with. All right, y'all, there you have it. There's the 5 things you need to do as soon as you get diagnosed with ADHD. Hope that helped you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you're lucky like I was to be diagnosed early on in life. Let me know how early, or if you were diagnosed later in life, how late in life were you diagnosed, and what did being diagnosed did to you? Was it like a rebirth for you, or was it something that kind of caused a lot of anxiety and stress? I'd love to hear from you guys. And also, if you made it this far in the video, comment Coyote so that I know that you made it this far in the video. I appreciate y'all. Hope you guys have a great evening. I'm going to get this upload and go to bed because I got to work in the morning. But I'll catch you guys later. Hope you guys have a great evening. My name's Cody Carter, and you guys just watched Men's Journey. Have a great evening. Peace.